What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Tuffy Talk live show. We apologize for those technical difficulties there, but we're back rolling. No harm, no foul. We got the crew here, Greg DeLay, Michael Tracy, Kins, and myself here. Definitely looking forward to this show. Yeah, it's all good, Greg. It's okay, man. You know, technical difficulties.
You're fired.
Yeah,
You're fired.
You're fired, man. You're fired. Yeah, no, it's all good. But we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for your patience. Or again, apologies for that. But
We'll make it up to you.
don't worry, Aiden. We will get to some NC State football schedule release for sure, as that is definitely going to be a big point of this show. Definitely getting right to it. But make sure, again, if you've been with us before, you know the drill. But if you haven't before, as always, make sure you hit. First of all, just leave any comments you have, any questions, thoughts, concerns, thoughts about the schedule. And just, again, we'll get to all of them here tonight. But yes, Terry Suggs, we are live for real now. And so we're good with that. And lovely weekend to be a Wolfpack fan. No doubt. We'll definitely get to that a little bit here too. And then what's up, Rusty from Lexington, North Carolina. But real quick here, what's up?
Oh, Lexington's like right beside me. Sorry.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
She's saying hi to her neighbor.
Right,
yeah, exactly.
Davey.
So since we're going to be considering the football schedule as a quote unquote tweet of the week here, I wanted to go ahead and address one thing first, and that way we'll kind of just go into that, our tweets of the week. But obviously, yesterday during Kansas City and Bengals was a huge game for sure. I mean, definitely for Pac Pros. Obviously, BJ Hill and Jermaine Pratt with the Cincinnati side, and then Joe Tooney on the Kansas City side. So definitely, you wish that all of them could have made it to the Super Bowl, but obviously, one team had to come out on top, and what a crazy ending it was. But I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about is obviously the two Pac Pros and Cincinnati side have been highlighted and all over Twitter. All over Twitter. It's been absolutely blowing up. And so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about it. Yeah, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which let's talk about that real quick.
Are we claiming?
Well, so I would claim him if he claims us, but I doubt he claims us.
Yeah, I don't think he does. So we don't claim it. We're good.
Well,
we got a ton of other ones to cheer for.
Well,
we're good.
And I wanted to be careful about saying that on Twitter because I didn't want it to make it sound like we don't want him. Like sure.
He didn't want us. So
well, but again, we just weren't really. Again, he was dropping balls left and right here at State, and then he goes to USF and he shows up. So I mean, I can't really blame him necessarily. And honestly, I mean, I never would have thought in a million years he would have ended up where he is today. Watching him as football equipment manager, just being realistic. I mean, Bo Hines was outshining him left and right, and you can even argue Ramos was shining more than Marquez Valdez-Scantling was. But yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, Aaron, for sure. But anyway, so obviously, the game ending was. I think any football fan would agree that's not how you wanted the game to end for sure. Obviously making it seem like that it was Osai was the reason that Cincinnati lost. And so obviously after the game, watching him just, again, this guy is 22 years old. He's still a young adult, and watching him on the sidelines was heartbreaking for sure. So I do want to highlight the positive first, and I'm going to show this quick clip right here of BJ Hill during the post game, basically standing right beside Osai while he was getting questioned. And I mean, I love it. So with that being said, we'll watch this quick clip real quick. Oh, no sound? No. Okay. Anyway, perfect. So there's
great night.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, but basically for those watching, BJ Hill standing right beside Osai and basically just stating right from the get go, like, hey, listen, guys, this guy played his butt off. Just being there, looking at his fingernails like he's doing right now. Just listening in, and then later on, it's a 2-minute clip. So I only did a 30, 45 seconds, which again, I could swear that there is audio, but whatever. But basically at the end, there was one guy that asked a question, what was your feelings like, when you got the penalty, and BJ Hill kind of gave come on, man,
really?
Come on, bro, don't ask that, and. So he basically shut that question down, and I mean it was awesome to see it, and of course now I'm scared to death that this other clip, which I have, doesn't have audio either, which again
I'm sure everybody on here's seen the video.
But I mean I'm sure everybody's seen it, but yeah, But anyway, basically, Jermaine Pratt, after the game, heading into the tunnel, basically making a comment of, basically giving Osai. Now, keeping in mind, for those who haven't seen it, who are listening right now, Osai wasn't near them. More likely, he was still on the bench. But basically, Jermaine Pratt was saying, like, why would you go after the quarterback? Why would you touch the quarterback? Like, screaming at the top of his lungs. And I think that the biggest reason why I want to do this, why I want to bring those things up, was two things. Because first of all, one thing which I'll say, being a former football equipment manager, is I've seen guys, I'm sure I've seen guys literally throwing their helmets against the wall for mistakes they made, just busting out in tears. Like, as much as we State fans take it hard, players take it 10 times harder. Guaranteed, 100%. Every single time. It's not even close. And so the biggest thing which I want to say to that is keeping in mind that everything that is said on Twitter, you may think that if you have 10 followers that there's no way players see it. Well, I mean, they might see it. And so just keeping in mind that we always have to support these guys no matter what. And at the end of the day, death threats on kickers, like, is completely out of line, completely out of left field. I mean, anything, because again, these guys are 18 to 22-year-old kids, and that Osai, he's 22 years old. He is young, and he made a mistake.
And he balled out the rest of the game,
and he balled out the whole game. But also,
that's one mistake. But Jermaine Pratt is an awesome human being. Like, he really is, like, respectable. So you can't just judge a 10-second clip and think that that's just how the personality he is. Him and BJ Hill are top tier men and players and just like role models to people. So that's
well. And again, like, for me, once I saw, because like my original tweet was, I know Pratt, this is not him. As long as he, I have full faith that he's going to make things right and he's going to apologize and everything's going to be good. And that's exactly what he did. He apologized. So once I saw that, I said, then
they don't get that. They don't get that on camera, because that wouldn't get you in.
Right. So. Yeah, no, he actually did address it in the post game, press or whatever. But that didn't get blown up.
Exactly,
and
the bad part.
Yeah, for me, I don't have a problem with what he said. It's not like he was out there on the sidelines like berating Osai in front of the whole team, in front of the cameras. It was his real emotion coming out on his way back to the locker room. So, I mean, like you said, as long as he whatever. I'm sure him and Osai talked and got it all straightened out.
People are making it seem like Osai was right in front of him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that if Osai was anywhere around him, that was not going to come out of his mouth. But I mean, like Christian says, hey, Morgan, that's my cousin, sorry. Christian said, way easier for fans to say, like, I would never react like that. But, like, think about it. They were trying to get that Super Bowl win that they didn't get last year. So obviously, like, that mistake is going to be, people are going to have emotion about it. Jermaine's just one that unfortunately let it out at the wrong time.
Well, and the one thing which I want to add, and Greg, I want to kind of get your input on this too, but the thing which I said is that, like, obviously, Jermaine Pratt's a 4th year NFLer. Like, he knows, especially in a championship game, there are cameras everywhere, so to me, I would say if that happened in the locker room, like immediately when he walked in, then, so be it. But just you got to keep in mind, again, I understand it's a heat of the moment thing, but just, there are cameras there. So, obviously it's hard to do, but just keep it in. But again, that's why I said it's the heat of the moment. He's still young, it's an honest mistake. It's a heat of the moment thing. Like, that's not him, and he made it right. Not even an hour later. Yeah. So that's exactly my point. It's just like, at the end of the day, we got to keep the retrospect, guys. These are still young adults here, like, they're making a lot of money, but they're still young. They're still learning, and again, they played a 17-week season. They pulled off an amazing upset against the Bills. They worked their butts off all offseason. They didn't win the Super Bowl last year. They were trying to get back. So they were one
play, but you could argue
away at the end of the game from winning that game. And they lost. So I get it. And I completely agree that, yes, thank God it wasn't in front of Osai. But again, I guarantee that Pratt luckily enough, BJ handled it better, in the moment and was able to stand beside Osai. But I guarantee you, if that Osai interview happened an hour later, Jermaine probably would have been standing right beside him as well. Guaranteed.
Exactly.
Greg, I want to get your thoughts on. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you guys said all the key points there. The one thing is, it's not preseason game number 1. It's the AFC Championship game. So everything is multiplied, magnified
by a billion.
It's just, you work your whole life to try to get to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, and you're that close, and it just
2 years in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
something just happens. Look, we're all human. We all fall short. And it'd been one thing, like you said, like if Pratt had just ignored the kid and just, said, you know what, dude, that's on you. You're a bonehead, blah, 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 blah. Like, at the end of the day, that's your brother. The analogy, they go to war, and it's not real war. We know that. But, blood, sweat, and tears, man, for the whole year. You're literally there with these guys the whole year through off training camp and off-season workouts and preseason, and you go through the grind of the season, like you said. It's, emotions are at high. And so I don't have a problem with what Pratt did. Like, you would probably like him not to do that. But, I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is, the greatest of all. And you've seen him chewing people out in their face. Yeah. Like, he wasn't even in their face.
Stephon Diggs last week.
Awesome
like, going off on Josh Allen. Like,
yeah. So,
but that didn't get the type that this is getting. And it's
right.
Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got. I mean, we got better things to talk about. So
we love you, Jermaine.
Yeah.
No doubt. Jermaine's the man. And again, because the one thing which I want to end on with Osai too is that, I mean, when he explained that he was basically trying to, first of all, he's trying to catch the guy, but also too, he was trying to see if he could knock Patrick from gaining forward momentum when he went out of bounds, so that way the clock kept on running. It's not like he like spiked his helmet or did something like unsportsmanlike. He was trying to make a football play,
and it was close. Like, and it was.
I mean,
yeah,
he was clearly out, but
like he was clearly out, but it was close.
He got hurt on the during the play, so you could tell that wasn't like an egregious play.
No, he wasn't trying to be dirty. He wasn't trying to knock Mahomes out. I mean, they know they know the situation.
He was trying to play football. So and he just goes back to
basketball.
Let's talk something.
Natty champs, baby.
Natty champs, baby. So just wanted to bring that up because that can 100% apply to NC State athletes today and all athletes in general. Just some reminder. But with that being said, we'll jump on over to some tweets of the week and get into some football and basketball, baby. All right, so here we are. NC State football schedule release, baby. Woo, woo, woo. Now,
Natty champs, baby. I'm just kidding.
Now, I do gotta say here, y'all, I am very disappointed that the Virginia game is on a Friday. I'm very disappointed that, honestly, just because that's one of the games that we had circled we were going to go to. So now I have to take now a lot of people, anybody wants to go have to take that extra. Say again.
We're still going.
You're still going.
I'm still going, but I didn't want to have to take that extra day off. Yeah, So, but it's all good.
Bro, drive 7,000 miles and we'll talk.
That's true. Hey, man,
this is the shortest game I get to go to. This is an hour and 50 minutes from my house.
For you, it's perfect. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm just saying, just put on, especially because Brandon Armstrong return, like
a night,
big game.
2J,
yeah. So, for those listening in, we'll just kind of go through it real quick. But let's first of all, let's talk about those first three. So at UConn, then Notre Dame at home, and then at VMI at home. Mm-hmm. And man, what a roller coaster! Going from playing at UConn, which from how they played last year, it'll be solid, but it won't be, close to playing Notre Dame at home for sure. Now the one thing which will be interesting is, man, like if it's hot, which September 9th at home, it could be hot. It'd be so,
I think that's going to be a 3:30 night game.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a 3:30, not either 3:30 or a night game.
Yeah.
It's Notre Dame, so they don't play noon games. Notre Dame doesn't play noon games.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right because the last time we played them was like 3:30. So yeah, you're right. But but either way, it'll be weird playing Notre Dame for the first time since the Hurricane game because it can be like, man, last time
negative. No, we played up there.
Well, again, at home.
At home. Got you. Try
Yeah,
it.
just like just basically saying like, okay, I'm seeing a Notre Dame helmet on Carter Finley Stadium again, and we're not sliding 10 yards after getting
Yeah,
tackled.
really.
Like a
I
slip and
mean,
slide. Yeah.
December 9th, that's
Yeah.
hurricane season still. So no, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh Lord,
Just
knock
kidding.
on wood there, man. Knock
I'm
on
just
wood.
kidding. I'm just kidding. If you're with me, boys, knock on wood.
Yeah, but let us know in the comments, y'all, what your initial thoughts are. But I mean, definitely, Michelle says one big notice, which was that UNC on a Saturday,
Mhm.
which is definitely
First time
very
in a
different.
long time. Yep.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so I mean, let's talk about that for a second, right? We have back-to-back Friday games. I've never seen that for a team to have back-to-back Friday night games in college.
Yeah.
You know, with Virginia on the 22nd away, and then the 29th against Louisville at home, and then the UNC game's not on a Friday. So, like, if you would have done the 2 Friday games, which I had heard rumors, I'd seen some stuff on Twitter earlier today that we were going to have 2. You would have probably assumed one would be Carolina and one would be either Virginia or Louisville, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
And no Thursday games, which is interesting, right? We normally have a Thursday.
Yeah. No, that's
Thursday nights in the Carter are the best.
I know.
Now we have a new tradition: Friday night in the Carter.
Right?
Friday night.
It's not a new tradition. We played Carolina a couple years ago at night, but
now the other interesting thing is that we play Clemson after a bye week, but Clemson plays Miami during our bye week. So that's interesting.
I think that's a huge advantage for us.
Yeah.
I mean, how could it not be? And Clemson plays Notre Dame the week after us. So it's kind of sandwiched in between there. That's going to be tough for them. And I mean, we've got Miami right after Clemson, so that'll also still be tough. And but I mean, I think it sets up as well as it could for us. Considering
and don't sleep on that at Duke, Clemson, Miami. That's a tough stretch. Like
people
like
Duke is on the rise.
Yeah.
So
no. Again, but definitely kind of throwing that Marshall game in the middle is kind of interesting as well. I it's been a while. I feel like most of our schedules are usually 4 out of conference in a row, typically.
Well, I think the Marshall game is the one that replaced Cincinnati, and that was the only open date Marshall had. Was October 7th. I think we're supposed to play
Michael,
Cincinnati
that insider.
September.
That's insider, man. I like it, Michael.
Yeah,
awesome. But definitely. It'll be cool hosting Miami again. That'll be a cool game. And then playing at Wake Forest one more time before the
we have a couple more times.
We play them 2 more times. Yeah, at Wake Forest and then State, and then we lose the streak. So definitely got to enjoy it. But I don't know. I'm still going to be really hesitant to go to Wake Forest again because I
hate playing at Wake.
I've literally gone to 3. Actually, no. Actually, I have won once, but it was as a manager. But I've never won there as a fan. So, but I won there in 2014 when Matt Days went off like 200 rushing yards.
So for me personally, I went to Virginia last year, but wasn't for State, and I've been to Virginia Tech, but that wasn't for State. So I will knock off 3 new stadiums this year, 4 new stadiums, because I've not been to Duke for State and I've not been to Wake. So I got 4 new stadiums that I'm going to this year. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Virginia Tech is going to be really fun. Definitely hoping that it doesn't rain this time, so that way my family and I can actually enjoy the legitness of Inner Sandman for sure.
That's going to be chilly.
It's going to be cold as you know what. Yeah, no,
there could be snow. There could be snow.
Oh yeah.
No,
Maker's not on here, but he'd be telling that 100 times over. Go ahead, Michael.
Outside of Clemson and Notre Dame, because I think we can all agree those will be the 2 toughest ones. What's the toughest outside of those 2?
I would have to go either Miami or Duke.
Yeah, I mean Miami is just a toss up right now because they're just have
you never know
right now, so you have no idea what you're getting right now. Life is like a box of chocolates, or sorry, Miami's football roster is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So, but I mean, I love the schedule though in terms of, I mean, I think it's a very generous schedule because we knew going into the season who we had to face. So I think that the lineup fits really well. Like especially getting Clemson after a bye week and they play the week while we're sitting at home watching them. Like, that's pretty big. So, and they're playing Miami, so it's not like they're playing just some Joe Schmo they can just look by, So either. So, but yeah, Michelle says they beat I don't know, Michelle, if you're talking about UNC or not, but anyway, she said that she has not had good experience at Wake Forest. I don't think many state fans have. And Duke Stadium was small several years ago when I attended the game versus NC State. Yeah, that was 2013 when it was close, but that was the year Duke went on to the ACC championship. I mean, they have a track around their field, so that's definitely
like a high school environment.
Yeah.
That
Again, I mean, hats off to their coach, though. Definitely got to give a hats off to the coach. I mean, again, do I love it that Duke is good again? Absolutely. I mean, I'm all for it. Brings a little bit of excitement. Actually makes you want to go to Duke for once. I just never wanted to go.
Real quick about Duke, looking at their schedule, we will actually have had 2 common opponents against them by the time we play them. They have Connecticut on the 23rd and Notre Dame on the 30th. So
wow. Okay.
So we'll have an idea of what they are because we'll have some comparisons. So just throw that out there.
So now, okay. Actually, Nick asked a great question. Actually, so let me go back to that.
Yeah.
Let's look at it here. So do we think that there's any chance College Game Day comes to Raleigh this year? So
I don't think we're gonna be that good. Like,
chill, Natty champ, baby.
Again,
Jesus
there's
Christ.
a lot of potential to be good. But
yeah,
there's question marks for sure.
There's good, and then there's College Game Day good.
Yeah.
So like
if you had to pick a game, I think it'd be either that Clemson or Miami game at home, depending on.
Those are the two.
Yeah, that's the two that you're looking at.
Because Notre Dame, just we won't be
or that early in the season.
Well, we still won't probably be ranked by then.
If we had the build up like we did last year. Like
Notre Dame,
10-13 and then Notre Dame, that could have had a chance, but we won't be ranked high enough to get that this year. So at that point, it's going to be either Clemson or Miami if you're going to get a chance at College Game Day. But
I mean, looking at the schedule,
maybe UNC.
But you also
maybe
the other thing too is you have to look what games are happening the 28th and the 4th.
It's all the most compelling
the
other games.
Game? Yeah. I mean, there's so many different factors. Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, looking at all the games up until Clemson, I mean, there's none that I mean, besides Notre Dame, that I'm necessarily like, oh man, we're gonna have a tough time winning that. But again, it also really just depends. There's just so many question marks right now. So basically, meaning if you're going to circle 2, it's gonna be Clemson or Miami, but it really depends on how our roster comes together, how we do, period. But also, what games are playing that week, which, to be determined. So we'll see.
One last thing, we'll move on. Clemson and Miami, that might be the 2 weeks in the history of Carter Finley where you've had so much name recognition in back-to-back weeks coming into town.
Oh, for sure. I'd agree with that. So Christian Jones says if we went out going into Clemson, maybe. Yeah. Michelle says we played Miami for College Game Day last time I attended one. Yeah, that was the last time it was in Raleigh, period, which is an absolute shame and a half.
Devin Hester.
Yeah, and then Lee.
Well, that could be a factor in it. Be like if Miami.
The last time we went to Carter Finley was
against Miami. Both teams are top 25 or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. It's possible.
Well, we'll see with freaking Miami. Yeah, geez. Miami is like they could be a national championship or they could go 0-12. Like, who the heck knows?
Yeah.
So Jingle Fang says having our bye week the week before the Clemson game is ideal, but probably wouldn't help getting game day since they wouldn't see us play the game immediately.
Yeah,
that's fair. Before. That's fair too. Again, I've Greg and I we've been to College Game Day last year at Clemson, and I pretty much said after that, like, okay, next time I go to College Game Day, it's going to be at Raleigh. Like, I mean, man, it was a lot. It was a lot. So anyway, so all right, y'all.
Let's talk basketball.
Let's go.
Almost. One thing real quick. I know. Gotta bring this up. Max says, per Tar Heel Illustrated, Max says the ACC, quote unquote, wasn't fair in the schedule that's being released tonight. He is very disappointed. He didn't
have
give
some more wine.
You'll see. Now, the one thing I will say, looking at their schedule, it's tough.
They played in the Coastal. Get over it. Let's go. Play some real big boy football.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like here, let me walk it through for you. So you're playing South Carolina.
I mean, are we really upset if they go 0-12? Not at
No,
all.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just looking at it. Just like dang, it is tough.
I thought.
Let me walk through it. Let me walk through it. Let me walk through here, Kens.
Cry me the New Easy River.
No, I know. I mean, it's. I mean, hey, like to me, it's kind of like now we're
Poetic
even kind of deal.
justice.
But again, so let's walk through real quick. So
Bro, you got a Heisman candidate. Get over it.
Let me
Yeah.
go through real quick.
We're all mad now.
real quick, and then we'll hate on it.
You got it.
Real
You
quick.
got it.
All right.
Mute
So
all of us.
South Carolina at a neutral site. You play App State and Minnesota at home. You go to Pitt. You have your bye week, and then you play at Syracuse, Miami at home, at Virginia, at Georgia Tech, Campbell at home, Duke at home, and then at Clemson, at NC State.
L. That last one's gonna be an L.
I mean, that's a tough schedule.
I mean, you can't spell Wolfpack without an L. Let's go.
Exactly. No. So hey, you get what you reap what you sow. You made your bed, not laying it. I mean, you've got a schedule for years. Now you're getting a tough one.
Candidate, you think he'd be able to turn any team into 12-0, right?
For real.
We'll see.
Exactly.
Dude, you scheduled the teams. You scheduled half those teams.
Yeah, and the non-conference ones they schedule. But no, I will say, yeah, Duke and then at Clemson, at State will be tough. Yeah, but to say it's unfair, that's just like I don't know. Duke could go back to being Duke again.
It's just so much harder now for them to figure out how to have the refs let them win.
Exactly.
They're having to go through a whole different scenario now. That's what
they also have Campbell right before Duke, so that's basically a bye week late in the season for them. So
I'm calling it now. Campbell's going to beat UNC,
and then at Clemson, then at State. So that's kind of a cool thing. That's also another big thing in our favor is they have to go to Clemson before they face us, which the Clemson effect is a real thing. So all right. Basketball time. Let's do this, baby. Let's go.
Okay, timeout. I would like to stay out first. I've been saying since August that we're national champions. So if it happens, you all owe me an apology. Every single one of you. Because y'all been calling me dumb. All kinds of stuff.
No, not dumb. Crazy, but not dumb.
Crazy.
Yeah. Unrealistic. Yeah.
That's true, Jingle Things. That's true. They had 2 buys last week. Last year.
Last year.
Yep.
Last week? Yeah, no, last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, again, I mean, so obviously Greg, Kens, and Macon did the watch party, and I was there in person. And I mean, I will say for sure that, what was it? Probably with, 8, 9 minutes left in the game, down by, 8, 9, something like that. I was pretty much saying, like, this is not looking good. But man, like, and the biggest thing, which I'll say first and foremost, is the thing that impressed me the most. DJ Burns obviously was incredibly impressive. We'll talk about that here with this tweet of the week. But this was honestly, to me, the definition of a team win. Like, everybody played a role. Everybody did a piece. Now, obviously, Big T getting knocked out, where there's some questionable calls. They got him in that situation. Absolutely, there were some questionable calls on him that got him in foul trouble early. But man, like TJ making that huge 3 to give us the lead. Jarkel Joyner, did his piece. Casey, was slow to start, but then he felt it late and made some big shots for us late. EB played some big minutes. Again, to me, that's
Greg Gant, his dude, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, no, and again, I just haven't even gotten to him on the list. But yeah, again, it's just proving my point. I love the fact that it was a team win right there.
Effort. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And again, to beat a really good Wake Forest team on the road in a place that State doesn't win a whole lot. I mean, just to be honest, we just always have had issues with Wake Forest, and so to win there in a game that the commentators said verbatim, it was a quad 1 win. Now, obviously, that is to be determined, but I mean,
I give up on trying to figure that out.
I know, exactly. Me too. So, but I mean, he said emphatically it was a quad 1 win. So, but again, let's talk a little DJ Burns. So this tweet right here from Matt Coe said this seemed very important to share about DJ Burns. And it's basically a list of NC State basketball players since 2010 that have scored 30 points, have had 25 field goal attempts, and shot 50% from the field in a game. And it was TJ Warren twice, 2014, and then DJ Burns. That's it. Those are the only guys in 13 years of NC State basketball.
I would definitely be curious, actually this actually kind of, well, not completely, but when was the last time a center in Keats's offense put up 25 shots? I don't think it's ever happened.
And again, we'll kind of get into that, but a little bit here. But yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, this is definitely a game changer for Keats.
Did it once?
Maybe, but not as a center.
Or Amir is the other person I maybe think of. Maybe,
yeah,
but
maybe.
That's a reach. So, yeah, and then Aaron even points out how Ernest, didn't play a ton, but I mean, he played solid minutes when he did. Just matchup things weren't working. So anyway, but yeah, and so I guess we can kind of get into that. So the one question which I kind of put out to Macon. So since in like the 2000s, so again, we won't go like all the time necessarily, but like in the 2000s, in the modern era, where would you put DJ Burns on the big man list so far? I know it's kind of tough to say again. We still got basketball left, but who are some of the big, the best bigs that you could think of that we've had?
Since 2000.
Yeah, it's just like since the
I don't know. That's
he's
up there.
I mean, he's up there. That's what I'm saying. It's do you maybe consider a Boo maybe in that? But I mean, maybe
kind of.
I don't really consider BJ Ania just because
No.
BJ Ania was great defensively, but he just didn't really do much on the offensive side. But I just don't think in the recent era we have seen at NC State a dominant center like this in DJ Burns. I mean, this guy.
We've been so guard oriented for so long.
Exactly.
JJ Hickson and Tracy Smith are pretty good.
Yeah. But again, just a guy like DJ Burns that can not only shoot the ball, but he can pass like there's no tomorrow. Holy crap.
There's definitely never been a passer like him. Definitely not a passer like him.
Yeah.
And I just want to
Colby
say
says one, but go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I want to say that what Coach Keach said in his weekly conference call, we've been saying all along all year, is he's a unique player. He's an old school player. Coach Keats called him a dinosaur, but we didn't go that far. But we were just talking about how he backs people in. You just don't see that in today's game. That's just not the way basketball works today. It's all face up shooting, driving to the basket. He lulls you to sleep, and I love it. And Wake, it was an interesting thing on Saturday. Forbes kind of got some heat about not doubling him, and he basically Forbes said, "Did you see what happened when we did double him? He passed out of it." So. Yeah, they chose to pick their poison, and DJ just was there for it. So, I encourage everybody else to call out and call him Whopper on the road because apparently he responds well to that. So, and
we'll show that tweet too. But cool. Aaron did point out CJ Leslie, Richard Howell, and I would say, very different game types. I mean, CJ Leslie was, obviously you're skinnier, but more of your electric player,
athletic.
And then Richard Howell is just a rebounding god. So, but I mean, again, just like DJ is he just makes shots.
Did we have a guy that was in the NBA for a while? Wasn't there a guy at Powell? Was there a Powell? I figured I thought there was a guy named Powell that was
that's ringing a bell.
Yeah,
but I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm stalling. He might be for 2000.
I think Tommy Burleson is the only person with more rebounds in NC State history than Richard Howell.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from our fantasy draft.
Yeah, which again, I had CJ Leslie in it, which was a reach for sure. If you haven't checked that out, but again, I've always said that CJ Leslie was
Josh Powell. Yeah, I think he was decent.
But I always said if CJ Leslie, not to necessarily hate on Mark Guthrie, but I just feel like that if he had a better coach, CJ Leslie could have been so much more than he even was. But anyway, but Aaron says still doesn't compare to DJ Funderburg. And
here's the other thing too. I would say he's become such a fan favorite, and so you have not only how good he is, but then he's just a fan favorite too, right? Sometimes I don't always, on a team where you have Baby T. And he was going to be the face of the team, and I still think he is. But that was where all the hoopla, if you will, pardon the pun, was around was T, and then you kind of have DJ upstage him a little bit in the popularity contest. So I think that's kind of a dynamic we didn't see coming.
Well, and let me make 2 points here, and Mike and I were talking about this, but the biggest thing which honestly DJ has done for us now is. Now we can honestly go through him a lot more than we originally were. And because now you got on the outside, you got at least Casey, Jarkel, and Big T. So now if you're a defense, because that if you're going to stop, you would hope that now that if you're going to stop DJ, you have to double him. Like there's not pretty much many centers in college basketball right now that can handle DJ one-on-one just because of his size. He's just so big.
Right.
And so if you double him, who are you going to come off of? You're going to come off of Big T? You're going to come off of Jarkel? You're going to come off of Casey?
And if you take that one step even further, now we have 4 legitimate scoring options, right? In the last couple of years, we've had 2, maybe 3, but the third was never consistent. We have 4 guys that any game can score double digits with KC, DJ, Jarkel, and T. And
Mhm.
that fifth one, that fifth one's more your defensive guy, your rebounder, your grinder guy, which is fine. And by the way, these guys know their roles now, and they're playing very well.
Yeah, they're
to
playing
that
well
role.
within the
Playing
system.
so well each other. Yep. And the other thing which I want to point out too is, Greg, we lost you. Hold on, Greg, we lost you. Greg, we lost you.
Muted himself.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost you. Nope, they can't hear us now. But anyway, while he goes back, so the one point which I do want to make though is that the crazy thing too is that we're still playing without Dusan Mahorchik. We're still playing without Jack Clark. We're still playing while Isaiah Miranda is still figuring out, where he's going to be. Again, like it's there's so much potential there. What is going on now? Anyway, Greg, do we got you now? Nope.
Nothing.
Is it me?
Nope, there we go. No.
Oh, there we go. Now we got you. Now you're
Try
good.
again.
I don't know what's going on.
You're good.
I was just saying we got 4 scoring options. Moving on.
Yeah. So anyway, again, just the biggest thing right now. So who do we got? So on Wednesday we go against
FSU.
Florida State at
FSU
home.
At home. Yeah. Which I mean, you look at it, I think FSU's 7-19 or
15?
something like that. 15.
7 and 15.
7-15.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, you go, they're not going to be anything. But I mean, they took Clemson to the wire. So
They beat Pitt.
They beat Pitt on the road.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I will say this real quick. They've dealt with a lot of injuries this year, and they've got arguably their best player back, Miller, in the last 2 or 3 games, and they've been playing a lot better. You could call this a trap game. I don't think it's a trap game. I think FSU is better than their record indicates. They've been playing a lot better. I don't think they won out of conference game all year. I don't think. If they did, they might have won one. I think they won one.
One or two.
Yeah, but they're almost 500 in the league. If they had won, on Saturday, they would be over 500. So they're not as bad as their record indicates.
No, not at all. And
that's unbelievable.
I don't think it's really a trap game because you got Georgia Tech on Saturday, so it's not
that's
like
the trap.
Looking ahead to that one.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Keats is 1-4, I think, against Florida State. So it'll definitely be tough.
Yeah. No, it'll be a tough one. But again, 9 p.m. So on ACC Network.
I hate
so
those late tips.
Yeah, no, it's the worst. So make sure to tune in for that. And again, it'll be a great challenge. But again, I mean, that's what we're looking for. Not a crazy challenge. It's a winnable challenge. But I mean, it's down the road. So I mean, it can be a decent win. Definitely, obviously not a quad win.
No, it's at home.
Oh, it's at home. Oh, okay, sorry.
The next 2 are at home.
I thought you guys were talking as if it was out the road. So I thought originally it was at home, but then you guys were talking. It seemed like we were going on the road. So I was like,
sorry, apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. So here at State. Okay, so perfect.
Q4.
Even better.
So
and we haven't lost Q4 yet this year.
I mean, obviously, loss in either of them would be bad, but you just can't lose both. If you have one Q4 loss, you can get over that. But if you lose 2, that's tough.
Well, and especially too right now. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, State women and men are. I mean, we're necking at that top 4. I mean, we're nipping at it. So
necking's an interesting terminology for it, but nipping, I will definitely take that.
Whatever,
No,
like we're
but to kind of go back to that point for NCAA tournament, I think you can afford to lose one of these. I mean, obviously you don't want to, but you could afford to lose one of these this week. But for a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament, you can't lose either of these.
Yeah.
And the other thing I will say about if you were to lose both, and not that we want that anything, but the ACC is a very down conference from historical purposes, even though they're looking at 7-8 teams. But if you look at those bids, only one's like in the top, like a top 5 seed, and that's UVA. Everything else is 7, 8, 9, potentially even a 10. So you don't want to lose those Q4 games for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Aaron asked a question. Do you have any prediction for what's to come for Isaiah Miranda? I mean, my original thought is like now we can be a little bit not as pushy of trying to get him going, like Isaiah, we need you, get in here and play some minutes. Like now it's like you kind of leave it more up to the coaching staff on kind of getting a feel of when he's ready. and maybe starting to try and get him in there. But also too, it's kind of tough because you're really starting to hit the meat of the ACC schedule too. So
we're over halfway.
There.
I don't think we'll see him. If we haven't seen him yet, I don't think we will this year.
No, yeah. I don't think you see him unless like we end up blowing Georgia Tech out by 43. Like it would be something like that. And the other thing is he's going to end up probably redshirting, and there's no guarantee he even comes back next year. So it's going to be one of those players where he may never actually play for us. So we'll see.
And we've been down 2 forwards, and he hasn't even played yet. So yeah.
And real quick, since Aiden brought it up, but talking about Mahorchik and Jack Clark, so I mean,
Keatsek any day.
Yeah, he said
it could be any day.
It's just pain in the butt injuries that they have, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's again, when Mahorchik went out, it was indefinitely, which means he could be back a month. He could be back next season, or never, we
don't have to rush him back though, which is
not
surprising.
No, you don't have to, but I mean, we want him especially for like a UNC game. We would definitely
you probably want to have him play 2 or 3 games before the tournament. Just you don't want a do or die situation being their first games back. So that would be my guess. So
exactly. And then what else was it? Michelle also said that Traquavius Smith was listed as one of the John R. Wooden Award late season top 20 by ESPN about an hour ago, which is awesome for sure and well deserved. I think Traquavian, again, like he's a guy that shoots the ball a lot each game, which I mean is expected. I mean, he is that good of a player. You want him shooting the ball. There's I mean, you're gonna have a couple of shots a game where
head scratchers.
Come on, T, don't do that, man. It's you're okay with it. Traquavian's that good. You live with it. Exactly.
It's not like last year because there were games last year he would shoot the same amount of shots and not make them and just do nothing else. This year, he's still, distributing the ball. He's getting steals. I think he's 8th in the ACC in assists right now. So he's still contributing in other ways, even when he has an off shooting night, which is relative because he scored in double digits every single game. So
I mean, he only scored 1 field goal he only got 1 field goal against Notre Dame, and he still put up, I think, 13 or 15 points. So he's still getting his shots.
Yeah, absolutely. But looking at the schedule real quick, I pulled it up real quick. So the last 4 games of the season are UNC at home, Wake Forest at home, Clemson at home, and then at Duke.
Yeah.
So again, and that's what I'd like to me. I would really want Tucson. Yeah, I mean, if we can get him back for that stretch, that would be amazing because that's when we're really going to need him, honestly. Just and not necessarily because if we don't have, we're going to lose or something, but just that's going to be those are going to be tough games where you're going to, if you can have another option, you would like to have another option.
And I'm glad that Clemson is senior day because that just brings another.
The one thing I would say is you probably want as many guys as you can get available against that Carolina game, given how many fouls we had the last game, and I think if I'm not mistaken, KC fouled out of that game. So you're going to want all hands on deck in case you get one of those kind of games.
I will be getting kicked out if that is what how the game is called. So just throwing that out there.
All I know is if I get a report that Teddy Valentine's reffing, I'm gonna be like, nope.
I might as well just go and get in jail myself.
No, we're not doing that.
Yep. So, but hey, if guys are healthy, they'll play. They're not going to rush any of these guys back if they're not ready to do so. So.
Yep. Yeah. And then Aaron also brings up the AP poll rankings that came out today, where it had State had 39 voting points, UNC had 47, so just ahead of us, and then Duke had 24. So I think it was 2 spots behind us. It's and of course, all these people saying, how is UNC not ranked? And it's like
whatever,
bro. Whatever.
Yeah, man. They went from number 1 preseason to not ranked. That's how they didn't get ranked.
Exactly.
They have 1 quad 1 win, which is against Ohio State, who has now lost 7 of the last 8, and they're barely above 500.
Look at Michael, man. See, I knew
Michael's always ready to talk smack.
I need people in the chat to get some fire emojis.
Facts ready to talk how bad they are.
I need people in the chat to get fire emojis, man.
Michael's coming with the stats today. I love it.
So basically, Michael's saying Carolina's trash, and anybody that that
because their 1 quad win shouldn't even be a quad 1 win. because Ohio State is so bad. But
yeah, but I mean,
how
and
the net
people have been
works.
saying the same thing about Clemson. Is like, how is Clemson not ranked higher? And dude, they had some bad out of conference losses.
Yeah,
at the beginning
I think
of
they
the
have
season.
2 Q4 losses already.
Yeah,
So that's how.
Because somebody was, and again, this isn't a Clemson or Virginia Tech show, but everyone was complaining that Virginia Tech was ranked higher in the net than Clemson,
Yeah,
and
they've
Clemson's
lost.
beat them twice. Yeah, so it's
Right.
like no one understands it. Just if you win, it takes care of itself, and you'll be in the tournament.
Right.
Like that's the easiest way to get in the tournament. Don't worry about quad ones and quads twos. But it's like, Coach Keat says, like, hey, they tell their guys before every game, this is a quad 1, quad 2 opportunity, and you got to go play it as is. So, but it's a mess.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, the ACC this year has just been the definition. I don't know if there's been a weirder year for the ACC than this one. It's been an odd year, but I mean, because think about it. I mean, we are, as of right now, we're tied for 5th right now. Tied for 5th in the ACC right now.
Yeah.
So honestly, if I'm Keats, I'm not even worrying about tournament right now. I'm like, get a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right there in that conversation.
But the funny thing is the ACC is very, very eerily similar setting up as it did last year. Like, on the talk, they still sent 2 teams to the Final Four. Like, not saying that that's going to happen this year, but it all works itself out in the end. So just, we still have 9 more, I think, conference games.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of basketball left.
I saw a tweet from somebody today. This is not my stat, this is somebody else's. So Airwolf on Twitter. No, since the double bye has been in the ACC tournament, which was 2014, 6 out of the 8 champions have been from the double bye, and 2 out of the 8 champions have had a single bye. So it's very beneficial to get that double bye.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Well,
and believe it or not, like we were hoping preseason to be like in the middle,
top
but
10.
We're top 5 right now. That's unbelievable.
I did say top 5. I've got that. I'm saving that receipt. The day Turquavian
championship.
That's true. You went a little bolder than me, but
just a smidge. Maybe ACC championship.
Aiden said, yes, I would say we do want Duke to beat the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Oh, last week. Yeah, Aiden.
Always want.
It don't matter about the standing.
Though, if you ask Leighton and Macon, they have their opinions on Duke. But I think if you had to pick the lesser of the 2 evils against each other, you would probably say Duke, right?
Oh, no doubt, dude. Yeah. Like for me, it's UNC, it's dog poo, and then it's everything else. Like there's only a few things in the history of mankind that I would cheer for UNC over. Like that, seriously. Like,
there's not a single thing in mankind I would pull for UNC over.
I mean, you'd be surprised, but anyway, So, but again, I mean, I know that also too, one thing which apparently makes a difference is if you go to a Duke game, which I haven't been to a Duke game at Cameron Indoor just because can't afford it, and at least up until this point, which I definitely noticed the tickets have obviously gone down a little bit since Coach K left, so hopefully be able to make that happen. But apparently when you go, Duke fans are relentless, which but I don't know, we'll see.
Real quick. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, if you got something quick, because mine's a little bit longer.
Well, mine was a little long too. So you go first, and then I'll take mine.
I don't know if I've told it before, but when I went to Cameron Indoor in 2017, I think it was, when we had Dennis Smith.
Dennis Smith? Yeah, I thought that was Dennis Smith.
Yeah. My friend was one of the Cameron crazy, like whatever they call them.
Cameron
Crazies.
Yeah.
Well, like he was one of the leaders. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
so he's like, I can get you guys in, but you have to wear blue, like, because they won't let you into the Cameron Crazy section wearing red. So me and my friend went and we wore blue and just cheered for State the whole time. And we ended up winning that game. It was awesome.
I love it.
That is a good one. You were ranking Carolina, Pooh, and Duke. So Kelly P. Fitzgerald, which is a friend of the program, he tweets a lot with Tuffy Talk. He met a former runner from State, and she was an Olympian, and she won the Boston Marathon, won a bunch of marathons, and he got her autograph. And he said he specifically wore a State shirt, and when she saw it, she personalized my autograph by signing, "It's better to have poo," we'll use that word, on your running shoes than a Tar tar on your heel. So that's how,
I love
she
that.
signed the autograph. So
That's a great quote. I like that.
So I got to share that. That's pretty good. So.
But again, y'all just cannot say enough, about Keats, about this assistant coaching staff, about all the players that, I mean, we're sitting here 17-5, 6-1 in January alone. And that one is,
we'll put an asterisk next to that.
We'll put asterisk beside that
7-0 in this month.
Yeah, but again, either way, it's just unbelievable.
We're 6-0 and then 1-0 or 0-1 against the referees.
Yeah, exactly. We're 0-1 when we're playing 8 against 5. Yeah, exactly. Michelle, I love it, says, I will never pull for UNC. Aiden says, I hate Carolina with everything in me. Michelle says, my mother cheered for communist Russia team versus UNC when I was a child.
And that's why.
Yeah.
And remember, Michelle, not all heroes wear capes. So your mom was a saint. So
exactly.
Is a saint.
Yep. And then Aaron says tickets are $200 on StubHub right now for the NC State Duke game, which is not bad.
That's
actually.
Not bad.
That's
yeah.
not bad
For Duke.
Yeah. So
and people are camping out right now, and they could just buy a $200 ticket.
I mean, especially all their parents are rich anyway. So why don't you just give me $200?
Yeah.
Right. Well, and so this is one quick thing. So do you camp out for every game, or is it just for the UNC game?
It's just for the UNC Duke game.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. So, which I mean, that makes sense.
But like they're already camping out for it, so.
Yeah, I saw a thing on TikTok that I had no idea. They make each tent. You have to have a certain amount of people in each tent, and they go inside and take a quiz to see who knows Duke better.
Like a huge, it's a huge booklet. It's a lot of questions
and
about Duke basketball history.
I'm like, what the heck?
So again, like for those
legit.
who don't know it, I definitely
$200.
Yeah, I'm buying it.
But it's definitely, I can't think of really too many traditions that are better than that one. That's just one of the all-time great traditions, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's like you have to have a certain number of people in the tent at all times. They check in the middle of the night.
A roll call at random times.
Yeah, so there's a reason I joined the Navy, not the Army. I didn't want to sleep in tents, man. So
Yeah, exactly. Michelle has an awesome quote right here already. I haven't even read it, but I just read the first sentence, saying, my daughter was just accepted to state, which congratulations on that. That's awesome. And when she was only 5, she turned, well, actually one thing, she said accepted. She didn't say that she's going there necessarily. But anyway,
she's going. You don't apply not to go.
Right.
Anyway, and when she was only 5, she turned up her nose at a UNC fan walking by at the football game and said,
there
Mommy,
she's definitely going.
I love it.
She's going.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So again, it's awesome. Now, do want to kind of transition here a little bit. First of all, talking about kind of going through again. It was a amazing weekend, to say the least. Obviously, Ice Pack, first of all, I got to talk about them. First of all, winning 7 games in a row now ever since they lost against UNC. And now they play UNC again on Friday night at Invisalign Arena, which is right by the airport. I think the game is at 8:45, 8:30, something like that. It's super cheap. I think you can get a ticket for $10. NC State versus UNC. We need to pack that thing out for sure. It's a big opportunity. And even though we've lost 2 in a row against UNC, we're a much different team now than we were then. So make sure to check that out Friday night. Also, too, want to give a shout out to wrestling, who, golly, they absolutely they just bent Duke over and just whooped them like there's no tomorrow.
Donkey stomped. Donkey stomped
them. Donkey stomped them. Exactly. They donkey stomped them. 48-3, which I mean, if you know a little bit about wrestling, that's bad. For a conference matchup. But anyway, so I got to give a shout out to that.
All have been a running clock.
No, exactly. That would have been 90-0 heading into the fourth quarter, basically.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So I think they go against Virginia. It's at Virginia
at UVA.
Weekend. At UVA on Friday. So make sure to tune in for that Friday night. And then jumping over to what were we talking about? Well, we'll talk about Caitlin here to finish it off, but let's talk a little bit of women's basketball. Obviously Greg and I did the watch party yesterday, and I mean, another all-around team win. Everybody's talking about. Here's my thing: Diamond played great for sure. But to me, there was a lot of talk about Diamond. Honestly, I'm sitting here going, Mimi Collins really turned up yesterday. she turned up yesterday. Like she was an unsung hero for sure in my books.
She had some attitude going too.
Yeah,
she
she
was
did.
fired up.
I love it.
It's a good environment last night,
so-
yesterday there. All the red glow sticks and
I want
lot
them
of,
to
lot
do
of
that
noise.
for PNC for the Carolina game because I heard
That would
that's
be great.
sold out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
we go all out
It
for
is
that
supposed to be a red out, right? The UNC game.
Mhm.
Which I also too
Makes
real
sense.
quickly got to go through that. So what is it? So the outdoor Hurricanes game is on that Saturday,
Yep.
and then UNC
Hold on,
versus
back-
State. Go ahead.
back
What's
up.
on Friday
Back up.
or what's?
So
Baseball.
Thursday you have women's basketball against Carolina at
Ooh,
Reynolds.
At the small
Wow.
gym.
Yep. And
That's
then
small gym.
Friday you have Pac-9 opening day.
Ooh.
Ooh,
It's gonna be
And
a good
then-
week.
And then Saturday you have the outdoor game.
is
Plus-
wrestling going against somebody?
Yeah, Friday night they're playing. They're wrestling at Chapel Hill that Friday night.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man,
And then if you like your little music, you got a little Hootie and the Blowfish going on at Friday night at PNC. All right.
Nah.
Hey, I'm old, bro. That's my music, man.
dude,
I grew up on
wrestling at
Hootie.
UNC.
I know.
Man,
I'm
that's
going to
what it
Hootie Friday, and then
Hootie in the blue.
I will fight anyone right now.
I like
and then-
Hootie.
Yeah, thank you.
Michael,
no.
I like Hootie.
So Saturday we have baseball again, opening weekend, and then the Hurricane game Saturday night. Sunday we have both baseball and state basketball, and then on Tuesday you have men's hockey at the Frozen Finley.
Tuesday or is it Monday?
Tuesday.
Is it?
I
Okay.
thought it was
cool.
Tuesday. I could be
Anyway.
wrong.
A good little stretch.
Monday night.
No,
or
it is
Tuesday
Monday.
night?
It is Monday. It is
That's what I
Monday.
thought.
It's the
Okay.
holiday. It's the holiday. My apologies.
Okay. So yeah. So then Monday night, yes, ice pack. Man, those jerseys, y'all, dude,
I
Yeah,
got
they're
one.
awesome.
I got
I'm
one.
obsessed with them.
dude, those might be the coolest jerseys I've ever.
That's what I'm
seen.
wearing to the Canes game. The black
Yeah.
and red ice pack jersey.
I
Dude,
love
it's awesome.
that.
Like to me, I think it takes another level just because unlike the football jerseys, there's a sleeve to it. So it even
Yeah.
goes all the way down. Like there's a stripes near the wrist as well, which I'm like, dude, oh, they're so sick.
Beautiful. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful
no, I
jersey.
mean, like literally, Coach Healy, the head coach for the Ice Pack, messaged me because I'm a huge hockey fan, and obviously, we've been supporting the Ice Pack a ton. And he messaged me going, "You ready for the coolest jerseys of all time?" I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm ready to see them."
We saw him
That's bold.
first.
That's bold. That's a bold take there, Cotton, and demanded it. But that strategy pay off. Golly, they're so
Yes.
sick.
So before we go too far, Jingle Fangs is right. Let Her Cry. That is the official anthem of UNC.
Let her cry. I love it. Let her cry. I love it. But so again, so obviously, so Monday night at Carter Finley Stadium at the outdoor game. So again, I mean, and I'm sure
Aiden,
that
yes.
probably won't be much at all if in order to go to it. And the
game is
Canes
free.
alumni game.
Both
Game is
the
free.
both the alumni game and the state game are free. They are asking for donations at the door. So
That's unbelievable. So again, I mean,
Cool.
what a bargain.
Marching
I mean,
band will be there. Oh heck yeah!
yeah, the marching band will
What?
be there.
So
That's
I'll
awesome.
be there.
Well, Tuffy Talk had a little something to do with that.
I love the band.
yeah, we did kind of step in. Well, because basically, so it was actually Coach Healy actually messaged us because we were giving the marching band a hard time because when State played UNC in the Ice Pack at PNC Arena, the marching band wasn't there, and basically, apparently, just the two never really got together. So we were like, for this game, they're going to be there, like because UNC's
Yeah.
marching band was there, but ours wasn't. So yeah, no, we're not letting that happen this time.
Love
So, but kind of wrapping up women's basketball one more time,
Yeah,
real quick.
let's
though.
get back to that real quick. Yeah.
Again, just was awesome to see. And also, got to give a shout out to Wolfpack Nation as well. Greg and I were talking about this, but literally the fact that that State was ranked 20th, UNC Notre Dame was ranked 7th, but yet we were favored by 1.5. Like that, if that doesn't tell you enough about the environment Reynolds Coliseum and Wolfpack Nation makes it, I don't know what does. Like, what other stadium you are the number 20th team playing against a team 13 spots higher than you, and you're favored. That's unbelievable in my opinion.
Yep.
So, but
yeah, I mean, I think the way that the team has just stepped up on the defensive end, the intensity, we held arguably the I don't know. I mean, she's definitely going to be an ACC Player of the Year candidate. We held her below all her averages, and so you can't say enough about what the team did. They shut that down. Got a little dicey there the last 4 or 5 minutes, but look, they found a way to win, and that's 3 in a row after losing 3 of 4. So I think we're starting to find our footing, and I'm excited about what we got. We have Georgia Tech, I believe, on Thursday. I want to say Thursday at 8 or I think Thursday at 8. So we should be able to win that game. Yeah. So
yep.
They only have 8 games left, so they have one less than the men's.
Right. Exactly. So, and again, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I think women are 6th or 7th in the ACC right now. So I mean, they're right there competing for a top 4 as well. So I mean, again, it's crazy to talk about. You literally have men's and women's right now competing for a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament. That's unbelievable.
And then they jumped up 5 in the AP poll this week, jumping from 20 to 15.
15.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
lots.
Pinch me, I'm dreaming. Pinch me. It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
We need to get in that top 4 bracket for bracketology. Top 4 do host, so we definitely want to host the first and second rounds before we have to go on to one of the regional sites. So, got to keep winning.
Yep. And they got to end it up with Carson saying UNC is not a rival. GTHC stands for Go to Hell Clemson. Okay. I mean, I get it. I'm not crazy about Clemson either, but no, UNC is GTHC, man. That's a ABC. GTHC will always be UNC first and foremost. But I hear you though, Carson. That's not a problem at all, man. And then Cam Grassboy says, yeah, the women play good. Yeah, they play good. All right. So now kind of wrapping it up here, talking about, I mean, somebody who, in my opinion, I mean, if I could stand up without you looking at my waistline, I'd be giving this girl a standing ovation because, man, like she deserves all that praise and then some. And that is the only Caitlin Tuohy. And the first thing I think of, honestly, when I say her name is literally once again when we did the dollar trivia, and I said, "Can you name me the star of our cross country team?" I asked it 2 or 3 different times, and nobody could say it. There's not a single state fan in all of NC State, in all of Wolfpack Nation, that should not know the name Caitlin Tuohy inside and out, breathe, eat, sleep that name. Like, she has absolutely revolutionized cross country NC State, in my opinion. Like, I put out a tweet out there saying, in my opinion, she's the most accomplished athlete that state has had. And somebody came back talking about, I think it was Jamie Shue. I can't remember the name exactly, but it was another cross country star from like the 60s. And I'm just still sitting here going, Caitlin Tuohy literally has the NCAA mile record. Like, that's crazy. That's huge. On top of everything else she's done in terms of being an indoor track champion, bringing 2 of NC State's 4 ever team national championships to NC State varsity sports. I mean, and then sitting here, there's only one female in college history with all-time top 10 indoor marks in both the mile and the 5,000 meter on record legal tracks, Caitlin Tuohy. The Wolfpack star is now the current record holder in the mile at 4 minutes and 24 seconds, which is unbelievable. I mean, I
can't even drive that in Northern Virginia traffic.
Like it's absolutely. And again, the crazy thing is that she has at least 1 more year. She might have 2 more years.
She's only a sophomore.
She has 2 more.
She's only a sophomore.
2 more years. That's, again, it's insanity.
She's going to probably be the most accomplished athlete that's ever, participated in the sport at NC State. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, you can make the argument now. She's still got 2 more years.
Yeah,
I'm saying it, but I mean, but definitely, there's no doubt by the time she leaves here, she will be, and it's not even close, in my opinion. Like, I mean, we could win 2 more national championships. I mean, just with having her.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy to think about. You could literally have 4 national championships when we've only had 2 before she even walked on campus. That's crazy. That's insane to think about. So, who was it? Hey, we talked some football here at the beginning, but definitely again, we'll we could see if we could talk a little bit about Brandon Armstrong to wrap this thing up here. But it does say one of the best athletes, if not the best, to ever come through NC State. Absolutely.
Michelle says she is fast becoming a legend. Yes, I would say 4 minutes and 24 seconds fast.
That's very fast.
Fast becoming legend. Yeah. Yeah, and then Jingle Fangs does point out, not surprisingly, NC-State athletes set a new NCAA record, and the ACC Network had no mention of it on their Facebook page or anything, just shameful coverage. Yeah, no, I mean, it's.
You say like you're surprised.
Yeah, I know. What's new with the ACC Network? Again, it's
the All Carolina Network. That's what
There you go.
Or All Duke or All Clemson.
So again, it just goes back to, once again, y'all, support every sport. Like I'm telling you, 2023 might be the best NC State athletics year we've ever had, just in terms of what happens in 2023. Look at what men's and women's basketball is doing right now. Cross country could do it once again. Football, it might be a good year. We'll see. And then softball again. Baseball is looking really good. Again, there's every single sport right now is doing amazing things. Support them all, folks. It doesn't take much. It doesn't cost much of anything. Support them. Again, like swimming and diving, literally both teams are number 4 in the country. Women's tennis is number 3. Men's tennis is top 20. Gymnastics right now is 23, but they were 20 last week. Like, there has never been a better time, guys, than to be an NC State fan. So get on board and you will love it. Go ahead, Greg.
And here's the thing. Other than the revenue sports, most of these events are like $10 or less, and in some cases free. So, if you want to get out of the house and go see some good entertainment for, good value on your dollar, all of those sports that we just mentioned, baseball, softball, wrestling, gymnastics, tennis, swimming and diving. I believe swimming and diving is free. Like, just go out and support these teams, man. Like, they deserve it.
Yeah.
I think about it. You could literally go just men's and women's tennis and men's and swimming and diving alone. You can go see the number 3 team in the country, number 4 team in the country, number 4 team in the country, number 18 team in the country for absolutely free. That's insanity.
Yep.
So, and Carson brings up men's and women's soccer as well. Absolutely. 100% deserve respect as well. So again,
all of them do.
Yeah, all of them do. Simple as that, y'all. So, and Aiden says, ready to see how Highfield performs after this injury last season.
He looked good yesterday.
Absolutely. No, I'm telling you, y'all, I think the state baseball can be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll be having our previews here pretty quickly. I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely, and also make sure to stay tuned. We're actually going to be talking some NC State men's and women's tennis this week, y'all. So make sure to tune in for that. But kind of wrapping it up here. So do we want to talk a little bit, Brennan, or do we want to kind of wrap this thing up a little bit? I guess we could just spend like 30 seconds on it a little bit, basically saying we'll find out. I mean, I don't think there's really much that we can really know at this point. I don't even think I've seen a picture of him even on campus yet. Like, I haven't seen a picture of him on campus yet.
No, the only thing I saw was the Adobe photoshopped, of him in a state uniform.
Right.
I haven't seen anything.
He was in the picture with the weightlifting groups.
Yes, that's true.
Coach Thunder's been putting out. He sticks out in that group.
Yeah, with the ginger and him.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I mean, and the biggest thing which I love on top of it too is seeing MJ Morris putting out videos of him training, working, which I love. And it's like he's going to be here, folks. MJ's not going anywhere. I can almost for certain, unless things completely change. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. So I mean, you can't help but get a little bit excited. Now, obviously, is there holes? Sure, but there's still a lot of time before football season gets here, folks. There's still a lot of time. There will be another transfer
all summer.
opportunity. Like, there's still a lot of time to make improvements. So
the one thing I will mention real quick, if people didn't see it, the spring game was announced today. It's April 8th.
Yep.
So for anyone that, is tracking that. And also, let me see here. I got it. It is, hold on. There we go. It's 214 days.
There you go. Love it.
And, so there's your opening day right there. So, and I put it as a noon game. Yeah, 214 days, 14 hours, 36 minutes, and 35 seconds, assuming that it's a noon game. Obviously, we'll adjust once the time comes out, but that'll give you a ballpark. So, not that I'm counting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Aiden does bring up a big question as well. I know Justin Cook's mentioned it a couple times, but will the field, meaning for Pac-9, be ready in time for the season?
It's looking close.
Yeah, it's looking close, but apparently there's been talks already with some stadiums, whether it's the Holly Springs Stadium or the Mudcat Stadium, potentially for the first weekend series, something like that. So, it sounds like if it does, it'll only be for that first weekend, and then it'll be ready for the next week. So.
Everything looked good. If people have been following, obviously they put in the turf behind the plate and up the baselines and up in the right field. They have turf now for the warning track, so all of that is in. The grass is in. The last thing I saw them working on was the bullpens. So I don't know how much more is left after that, but I can't imagine much more. Yeah.
Now, the one thing which I will say, obviously there was pictures that came out about what the field looks like. And I will say it's a change for sure. But I also say BP Cox immediately said, just wait for it to be finished.
It's not done. Yeah.
It's not done. Just be patient.
And here's the thing. That's kind of the style that the colleges are going to, a combination of turf and natural grass. A lot of the SEC schools are doing it. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. I think the one that you were saying, the one that I've seen people point out is Mississippi State. They have the exact same thing. Once it all grows in and gets worn down a little bit,
it fades a little bit.
The colors will mix together better. And it'll look good.
Yeah. Now, the one thing which I will say is I think anybody who's been to a good amount of state a good amount of Pac-9 games, all you're going to do is look at that scoreboard. You won't notice anything else. You'll just look at that scoreboard being like, holy crap, that's our scoreboard. Nice. And you'll just look at that the entire game for probably a season.
You won't worry about nothing else.
That's going to be me. Like, I'm going to be like, wait, I actually don't have to see the individual boxes be different colors and be like, wait, is that 319 average or 219 average? Like that was basically me. So, I mean.
And you'll be able to see the replays much clearer because you could never see the baseball on the bang bang plays. You're like, where's the baseball?
Nothing, pretty much.
And the other thing I'll say is I don't think anything would have gotten approved without Elliot Avent signing off on it. So
no, 1,000%. Because I mean, obviously me, I was a little bit worried seeing how the home plate turf was black, which I'm like, ooh, but again, there's something to it. Again. Just like Michael said, I'm sure Avent has something to do with that. So I'm sure it's been thought through. So Greg, did you want to wrap us up here or?
Yeah, look, we've been talking so much good stuff about NC State, but unfortunately, last week we lost one of our own, big NC State fan, Richard Wilson, who I met up in 2015 up at Pittsburgh. Just a really diehard dude. He created a big NC State fan page on Facebook that I'm a member of, and just an all-around great dude. Passed away really early. So just wanted to send out my thoughts and prayers to his family, and then of course Michael's grandpa had passed away last week, so I'm sure he was probably a Wolfpack fan. Grandma, excuse me. My apologies. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to send out our thoughts and prayers to those people, and just we're thinking of everybody that's knows Michael's family and then knows Richard. So but appreciate that.
And the Packer family even still too as well. Sure. Definitely want to give a shout out to the Packer family. Losing Billy Packer was a big one for NC State and Wake Forest and many others too. But I think
best announcement ever.
Best announcement of all time.
Yeah. They wanted on a dunk.
Yeah. Right? No, Macon actually still has the newspaper with the quote on it. They want it ... on the dunk. And it's like, the best of all time. Yeah, absolutely. Aiden, also, I know we'll wrap this up, but again, I love all the questions. We have such great questions right now. That's why I'm like, I want to kind of hold on to it a little bit here. But Michelle said, did you know that they donated the old scoreboard to Campbell? Did not know that, but that's good. That's awesome. That's good for them. Aiden says, when will the new scoreboard for Carr Finley start to be built?
I'm guessing right after the hockey game.
Right after the hockey game, it'll get started.
I heard the footers are already in, allegedly. Like I had heard that. So I don't know.
Probably seems like something they could do without
disrupting everything.
Exactly. So, but I guarantee you that they're going to need every single day and minute that they can get once
it's going to be exciting to watch.
It's going to be amazing. Holy crap! Like that new scoreboard and the new sound system. I mean, I'm going to be like Notre Dame at home with a new scoreboard and a new sound system. Holy crap!
We got it. We got to interview
the night game. You get the lights in there too.
Yeah,
bro. Michael, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm losing my crap already.
I'm gonna give
17 days out.
I'm gonna give a quick shameless plug and teaser. We got an interview coming up this week, or maybe next week. I'm not sure when that one's coming out. Yeah, but we were talking with a future player, and he seemed excited about it. So
yeah. Awesome. So make sure so you don't miss out. Again, we got 2 awesome episodes here talking some men's and women's tennis, and again, a huge episode you will not want to miss out on. And then just like Greg alluded to, we have a future NC State football player that we interviewed that will be coming out the following week. So to make sure you don't miss out on that, all you have to do is again hit that free subscribe button, hit that free notification bell, which is again free to do, and also to make sure you are notified on all your devices whenever we go live with any new content, whether that's watch parties, our Tuffy Talk live shows, any of our episodes. And then also too, if you wouldn't mind as well, do us a big favor, hit that like button. Let us know too. Again, y'all, we have 18 people in here with us right now, at least from what I can see. the biggest thing which I'll ask, let us know feedback. We would love to hear from our Mega Six supporters, our fans. What are things you've liked, what are things you would like to see more of. What are some things you're even not really crazy about. Let us know feedback. At the end of the day, we're 5 NC State fans here, just talking NC State things, but let us know what y'all think, and we would love to hear it and definitely adjust to it as well. And also too, as always, y'all, want to give a huge shout as well as we hit a humongous accomplishment of 10,000 Twitter followers, which is unbelievable to say the least.
Baby.
Our next goal is to fill up PNC.
Yeah. I February 19th, that's happening, guaranteed. But hopefully before that happens.
I meant followers, enough followers to fill up PNC.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, with our followers, we've already filled up the dope. We've already filled up Reynolds. So now we want to get
not PNC. I'm going to Carter Finley, baby.
Oh, hey, we've got to do one at a time.
Eventually.
We can't just jump to the Carter.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's kind of a neat thing to kind of track now, right? We want to fill up those places. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, thank you, Aiden and Nick. Thank you to everybody. Again, this has been an awesome show. Loved all the questions. Loved all the comments. Again, we're just sitting here going, man, we don't want to end because there's been so many great questions and thoughts.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We love
but
y'all.
again, y'all have been awesome. We love you guys so much, and I can't wait to. And also to, I'll be at the Canes and the Ice Pack game. Greg, you'll be there for
I'm
both?
Gonna be at a lot
just
of
the Canes
things.
game?
I'm going to be Georgia Tech this weekend. I'm going to be at the women's game, play for K next Monday night.
Yep.
I'll be at a lot of stuff. So
we'll
be there covering
and
everything.
And the Canes, Michael, when are we going to have you? When we're going to have you at some state?
I'll be at the Canes game and the men's basketball game on Sunday.
You best believe
The 19th.
I'm going to be at the Carolina State game.
Yeah,
for sure.
You should know that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, y'all. Really do appreciate the support. Y'all are the best. And again, thank you so much again. And we'll talk to y'all soon. And as always, go Pack, y'all. Thank y'all again.